Hey, everybody, this is Daniel Oliver from the band Nothing More, and you're listening to LA Metal Media.
LA Metal Media.
Hey everyone, this is Rock with LA Metal Media Magazine here in Los Angeles. And today we're talking with Daniel Oliver, bass player and crazy machine inventor extraordinaire for the group Nothing More. Hey Daniel, how you doing today?
Hey, doing great. Enjoying this Southern California weather for sure.
Yeah, you brought some of Texas with you, didn't you?
Yeah, you wish. This is probably 30 degrees cooler than it is in San Antonio right now. So.
Oh, seriously?
This is fantastic to me. Oh yeah, yes. It's. I think Texas is catching on fire. So, this is perfect.
Okay. Well, you're in Southern California right now with a show tonight at the Mattress Firm Amphitheater in San Diego. You have another show Friday night at the all-new 5 Point Amphitheater in Irvine. And both shows have an incredible lineup with Five Finger Death Punch, Nothing More, Breaking Benjamin, and Bad Wolves. How did this tour come together?
I think it just came from Five Finger Death Punch. I talked to Ivan the other day, and he said when they were putting it together, he was really stressing that they didn't want to put on a band that, they owed a favor to, or, their management owed a favor to or something. They just wanted to put someone on that they liked. And we toured with them back in 2014. They were the first big arena tour that we've ever done. And so we kind of have a pre-existing relationship with them. So I don't know. When we got the offer, we were stoked. And, to see Breaking Benjamin on it as well. We've toured with them. And then there's the new group Bad Wolves. They're label mates of ours, and we're becoming quick friends with them. So this is truly an insanely cool tour.
Yeah, no, it's completely awesome. I mean, that lineup's just brilliant. So I'm excited about seeing the show. Let's see, this tour in support of the band's latest LP, The Stories We Tell Ourselves, started back in September of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. And it's taking you guys across all of North America, over to Europe. You're back in North America now, and the tour's been extended to mid-December of this year. How are you guys holding up with such an extensive run?
So far so good. Europe was hard for us. This last time half the shows we were flying to, so we had to wake up at 6 a.m. to get to an airport. And as you know, rock and rollers do not like mornings. So really, we're just stoked to be back in the States. And this tour is super cush, catering every day. There's plenty of room to stretch out. And I don't know. So far, so good. Of course, we're on day 3 of a 50-show run with these guys. So talk to me on day 48, and we'll see what I'm made of, I guess. But I have high hopes.
Fair enough. No, it sounds great. Can you tell me what about the touring lifestyle for you that is personally most difficult?
The thing I hate the most about it is there's just constant distraction. You can't really go more than like 30 or 45 minutes before you're either like interrupted by somebody or you have to do some random task. Whereas I really enjoy just, closing down the world and focusing on one thing for 8 hours. Like that's what I would consider work, if you will. That and being away from loved ones is always hard. Of course, there's fantastic camaraderie out here, but these 11 other guys in our bus don't replace my girlfriend back home. So,
I hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you guys just recently released the video for the song Just Say When from the Stories LP. And the song is currently at number 18 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock chart. It's been streamed 5 million times, and the video has been viewed over 1 million times. Is it true that that song was almost left off the record?
Yeah. Oh, it's very true. In the grand scheme of things, that's definitely the most kind of oddball song on there. You know, everything else is kind of hard progressive rock. After we wrote it, we just kind of had to wait and see if it had a place, you know. But hindsight being 2020, we're all stoked that it made it on there. And it seems to be received well, and, you know, we love playing it every night.
Yeah, well, it's a brilliant song. So, I mean, I think it would have been pretty criminal if it was left off the record. So I'm glad you guys decided to put it on there. Nothing more, you know, of course, brings an incredible and unique experience to the stage every show, every night, which includes the use of some very interesting machinery. What many fans may not know is that you are the inventor behind these machines. What has been your inspiration for these inventions, and are there any new creations on the horizon you can share with us at this moment?
Yeah, you know, the inspiration behind it really is just trying to make something huge on stage. Like the first thing I ever built out of metal was the bass stand for the bass solo, you know, that spins around and locks upside down, and, you know, Johnny jumps onto his metal drum set and plays the bass with drumsticks while Mark and I tap the thing. You know, the idea is, if you go and see some bands, you know, and just simply watching a musician jump off of a speaker cabinet, it's huge. You know, there's a lot of energy in it. There's actual like physical inertia and weight transfer and all that. So that's kind of the stuff I'm into, is like something like a big physical energy on stage. And when you see a bass guitar on an 80-pound, you know, swivel boom do a 540 and lock upside down, there's something just kind of magical to it to me. You know, I grew up racing motocross and go-karts, and I'm a ladder pilot's license and stuff like that. So it's just kind of in my wheelhouse to I guess like stuff like that. You know, when you watch a professional supercross rider clear a triple, like there's just something magical to it. I'm not a professional welder. I literally got into it just to build these ideas I had. And so far it's been working out. And there are some new ideas on the horizon. You know, over the next year and a half, people will see things on stage, you know, appear that might not have been there before. Most of those won't be too significant. I do have a little mobile workshop that I keep in our trailer, so I am able to build some stuff, but really it's going to take until we shut everything down and start working on the next record for me to start cranking away on the next gigantic monstrosity. So
right, you know, that'll take some focus to, you know, fully dial into that process.
Yeah. Oh, it takes a long time.
And so, speaking of you know, different facets of entertainment on the stage, during the song Burn the Witch, you guys go into what I would call like a modern day type of drum ensemble, where everyone is playing drums together or at one point, you know, on the stage. How did this concept come about?
Yeah, you know, we started doing these kind of crazy drum solos once. Our lead singer he's the original drummer of Nothing More. So when I think it was back in 2008, he switched from drums to vocals, and he kind of wanted to still drum, like still kind of take them with him, you know, and I made a crude little like kick drum and snare set up at the front of the stage before I welded the big metal drums he has now. So basically ever since then, we've always had two incredible drummers in the band. And, you know, Mark's the guitar player. We don't really know how to play drums, but we can fake it enough. So again, it's cool, fun entertainment, you know, and everyone's seen like a normal drum solo where they introduce the drummer and they play, you know, drum riffs, if you will. But we just thought it'd be neat to do something different, you know, to have like big physical movement on stage and toms flipping, and then also have like the complex musical aspect of it where Johnny and Ben, you know, rip out like really badass drumming. That's kind of the thought process behind that.
No, absolutely. Well, you guys nailed it there, because it's you know, it's movement, it's all over, and it's, you know, great musicianship, and it's just insane fun all in one.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, and in March of this year, I was actually able to catch your show at the Regent Theater here in Los Angeles. And one thing I found throughout the show, at many times, for me at least, it was difficult to hear the band over the audience sing along. Now, I don't imagine it was always that way. Was there a defining point in your shows where it went from people standing there watching it to, check it out, everybody knows every word to every song?
Everything really escalated with the release of the stories we tell ourselves. We feel like our self-titled record did pretty well. That was the first record that we ever released with a label. And the first single off that went to #1 on radio and Octane for 3 weeks. And all that definitely did something huge for us. Like, we developed a national fan base and an international fan base, but there's just something about this record that the crowd just, like, we never have mosh pits, or we never used to. And now every show we have mosh pits. And I don't, I can't really pinpoint what changed, but I just know that it happened with this record. So it's like people needed proof that we weren't going to go into a sophomore slump before they really decided to love us or something like that. I don't know.
That's awesome. LA Metal Media Magazine attended the Loudwire Music Awards in Los Angeles last November, and we were able to interview you guys as you came down the black carpet, which was very cool. And you guys were also one of the few bands that was selected to play on the stage that night. How was it to share the stage with bands like Hailstorm, In This Moment with Rob Halford, and Avenged Sevenfold? And were you guys at all nervous, or just another show?
Oh, it was a total honor to get asked to do it. And yeah, we were super nervous. It's one thing to just perform a live show. It's another thing when it's filmed and it's only one song. So there's really no redemption, like if you blow it, or if you have a technical problem, that's all people see. Your whole exposure is based off of 4 minutes. And that was actually the first time we ever performed Go to War live.
Seriously?
So it was just it was all around terrifying. So all in all, I think it turned out okay. It's funny when you watch the video of it, you can hear this one girl singing out of pitch, and it's somehow the camera's picking it up, and it's louder than Johnny's lead vocal.
Yep.
So anyway, it was kind of a hilarious performance, but it all worked out though.
Yeah, no, I thought you guys did a great job, man. I thought the song was awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah, the first time we ever play a song live, it's just always harrowing. Everything's uncomfortable, and there's no muscle memory really. You don't know how to move yet to it, and that on cameras. Watch them squirm a little.
Oh my God, that's way too funny. So when you guys first started out, I'm sure you had this vision of what it would be like to be a successful band, receive many accolades, not to mention multiple Grammy nominations. And now that the band has attained that type of success, including multi-Grammy nominations, how is that reality, or this reality, any different from the one you envisioned so long ago?
Yeah, that's a great question. I joined this band in 2005, and Mark and Johnny started it, I think, two and a half years before that. And we always kind of knew we were going to get here. That was like, we treated it as like a big faith journey, if you will. And threw out any sort of plan B. It was, dropped out of college, yada, yada, yada. The A to B, we didn't know. And even now, like, we got signed, I guess, 4 years ago. Previous to getting signed, I imagine, like, I don't know, all bands that are on one label to hang out once a year at some sort of like mansion party in LA kind of thing,
Right.
Just, I definitely over romanticize what it is, to be a professional rock musician, a bit, but it's cool. Like in a lot of ways, I think it's a lot cooler than, how I envisioned. Like you hear all these horror stories about bands like losing control of their songwriting and, the label pressuring them to be something they're not. And for us, it just hasn't been the case. Like, our label's been great. They even let us self-produce this last record, which to me is kind of gambling, to who knows how long it's going to take. And, when you just have a bunch of dumb musicians making it themselves, but, no, I don't know. It's cool. It feels good. It definitely feels like we've made it. And that's a very just wholesome, good feeling. You know, none of us, like, along the way, none of our egos exploded. You know, none of us melted down to the point of quitting or anything like that. So, I don't know. I feel like we're in a good spot, and everyone around us is real supportive, and all the other bands we've played with have kind of welcomed us to the family, and it's cool. You know, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Let's see, we're almost running out of time here, but let me ask you this. I mean, you said this last record, you guys actually were able to produce it yourself. Was that the case?
Yeah. It's a homemade, you know, home studio recording, other than the drums, of course. But this is the third record we've done on our own. And over the years, our singer Johnny's become a fantastic producer. One of our managers, too, is also a very good producer. So we have a lot of in-house talent, if you will. And Ben, our drummer, used to work at, I think it's Sunset Sound in L.A. And Mark, our guitar player, knows a ton about, you know, Pro Tools and editing and all that jazz. So, so it really is. It was a cool group effort. You know, and every day at the band house, you know, Mark, Johnny, and Ben would all be in the studio doing their thing. And I would get to split off and go into the garage and make all the metal stuff. So it really is this kind of 360-degree operation. So yeah, I'm not a studio guy. It's too detail oriented for me. So yeah, once my parts were done, I bounced and went to weld some steel together.
There you go. Sounds good. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we sign off here, I'd like to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to talk to LA Metal Media. And I would like to just simply ask, is there anything you would like to add or say to your fans before we sign off?
Just, you know, thank you, everybody, for the support. Like, you know, we love what we do, and we couldn't do it without you. And we're stoked to be where we are, and hopefully we'll see you out there on the road one of these shows. Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And have yourself a great time at the Mattress Firm Arena in San Diego tonight. Yeah, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for everything.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Bye, Daniel.
Bye.